And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Movie. And in this episode, which will definitely not work for the audio only people, I'm going to show a bit of my process of what I've been doing with Unreal Engine and then exporting into Clip Studio. I also don't know about the quality of this because I'm using OBS, which I absolutely don't really know that well. And every time I try to do something terrible happens. I've already recorded this video. And when I switched to different screens, my mic went out and stuff. So if you're seeing this, it's a miracle in itself. So what I want to start with is by going here. So this is a Google Map page of a place called Giles's Quay. This is about 40 minutes away from where I live. And it's quite, it's like a camping site. But it has this lovely little pier in it that I want to incorporate it and steal as part of the town that my comic is set in, because the story is predominantly set in one town. A bit like Twin Peaks and all of those, that kind of cliche thing, but I suppose with Twin Peaks, it's the town itself is very strange and it's, it's one of the characters, whereas the town really isn't a character in this. It's very normal, and that's kind of, it needs to be very normal, not a strange thing, because when abnormal things happen in it, then it's it's unexpected rather than you expect weirdness in somewhere like Twin Peaks or any of those kind of other towns that have come after it. But yeah, so this is the kind of the pier, and hold on if I can get a better kind of a look. So it just goes down and out like that. So I have been trying to get to be able to use Unreal Engine. This is what I came up with the exact same kind of thing. Now it's obviously not an exact replica for many different reasons. One being I don't know how to do kind of curvy stuff. If you can, I'm sure you can. But so this is what I came up with. Like I've only been using Unreal Engine properly for about a week, so I think I'm pretty impressed with myself that I managed to get this kind of far. The lorry is there, the truck is there, just for reference, as is the trees for size, so I know kind of what it's like. So as you can see, it's all kind of white, and the reason for that is because when you put on the full lighting, see, I actually think it looks better in the white, but you can see there's loads of color information and texture information. But I don't need any of that information because I'm going to turn this into line art. And so it just works better for me to go into the detail lighting, which has the lighting and any kind of normal maps and bump maps and that kind of stuff. So you're still kind of getting the reflections on the waves there and stuff. So if you go around, you can just kind of see the different ways I did it. All kind of just basic shapes, and around here is a bit horrible, so please ignore. And all of that's just kind of come from placing assets or just doing very basic geometry where I'll pull out it like a box and make it bigger and smaller in the different directions and all of that kind of stuff, and you can just move it around and add the different textures and stuff like that. So one other thing is there's a really nice kind of thing you can do in this, which is you can pick a camera and pilot it. And this camera you can pick to have any kind of camera you want. So let's say we have a film camera and we want to change, so we have an aperture of 1.4, which is quite nice. I'll show you what that would mean. So if you pick, say, something quite close, see it has that kind of depth of field. So if we pick, the focus has been here, probably won't now. No, just to make a show of me. Focus. See, so focus is here, and then the back is kind of blurry. Or you can pick there, and it's, the foreground becomes quite blurry or out of focus. That actually is not really that much good use to me, because you want as much of this to be in focus as possible for line art, because if it's blurry, then it's not going to work as well. I'll show you what I mean now in a second. So stop piloting. So the kind of image I went for is something kind of like that. Not exactly. So we'll switch to Clip Studio. Hello again. You can see I'm not au fait with OBS. And this is the kind of this image I took. And there's no kind of depth of field in it, there's no textures, but there's an awful lot of information. So the thing you're looking for in Clip Studio is under layer properties. Now my setup is going to be different from yours because it's not the standard setup, but it'll be there somewhere under layer properties. And you're looking for this kind of circle, a full circle intersecting an empty circle, and it's called extract line. So you click on that and you can see pretty much straight away that it turns it into line art. Now it's not great, it's not terrible either. It's very similar to the threshold, quiet fun, to the threshold function in Photoshop, which is what most of the manga guys do, who I've been kind of stealing this idea from. This idea came from Inio Asano, who has used his Unreal Engine to do the backgrounds of his new comic, Dead Demons, Destruction. Previous to that, he was doing just photos, and he was, kind of rendering them out and then drawing over them, which an awful lot of the manga guys do. They have this kind of, or their assistants do, but they'll take a photo, pull out all the kind of mid-ground of it, so you just have the blacks and the highlights, the line, and then draw over it, or put texture in it, like cross-hatching or screen tones or something like that. So it still has a kind of a very photorealistic feel, but what I wanted to do, photorealistic kind of backgrounds, but with cartoony characters. Not very stylized cartoony characters, but it's not. I'm not going for photorealistic human form, and that's the thing that I really like about some manga and a couple of other kind of European comics as well, where they'll have these really intense kind of backgrounds. Tintin is a bit like that, where they have this really detailed backgrounds, really good. He's not quite photorealistic, but they're really detailed, real backgrounds with these kind of strange character, cartoon characters. So that's kind of my idea about it. So when they're doing it, they usually do it with the threshold function, or at least on YouTube I see them doing it with the threshold function in Photoshop. But Clip Studio has its own kind of version of it, which is this extract line. So when I start with this type of thing, I just pull down the threshold of edge just down to 0. So just that I'm working on one parameter at a time. And see, when you pull this up, you start getting into, the blacks start getting filled in a wee bit more. There, and that's probably a bit too much black. But the correction line width will add more detail, which it's not actually what I want. Well, it's not what I want, but it might be what you want. That just looks like a badly rendered photo now at this point. And the threshold of edge will simplify kind of some of this stuff down. So that's not too bad, but I think for me, there's a bit too much black in it, and you're kind of losing. So like, you're not looking for a total drawing, because you're going to redraw over this, either using this as pencils, or you're going to use it as as the render thing as well. So you'd be filling in the blacks here, and you'd be filling in the different bits and pieces of, like, hold on, I will show you. See, I have this kind of stuff where I have pre-rendered out some cross-hatching, so I can just grab that and throw it in. Now obviously it's terrible, this is all very rushed. Who knows, every video people do on YouTube about artwork, so you can do much better at home, but it's true. So you can put in your own kind of texture or whatever, so that you're not drawing it each and every time. And then you just have to delete out the bits that you don't want. Anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, that's it. I have a final one that I've done. If I can just drag it up. Go here. So this is what I've done on, I have this posted on Facebook. And as you can see, it has a bit more of a cartoony feel than the original kind of photo did that we have in, we'll just go back to Clip Studio. So yeah, that's what I've been at. Hopefully this video recorded. I can't imagine I'll do this a third time. So anyway, good people of the internet, I'll be doing more art videos like this, only hopefully they won't be as amateurish and as terrible as this one is. But hopefully you enjoyed it in some way, and it might interest some of you. I know it will interest some of you actually, because you've been talking to me on various different social medias about how it has been interesting to you. So until tomorrow, good people of the internet, may your best days be ahead and be well.